Imagine saving for 10 years to buy your dream home, only to find out the real estate agent lied about everything. I could have sued him, but instead, I waited patiently for 6 long years. And when I finally struck back, I didn't just ruin his reputation. I helped destroy everything he held dear. Pause for effect. This is the story of how a single note, delivered once a year, turned an arrogant man's life completely upside down. If you've ever dreamed of seeing karma catch up with someone who thought they'd gotten away with everything, hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and buckle up, because this is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a con artist. And I'm definitely not a revenge expert. But I am patient. And that patience would become my greatest weapon. 7 years ago, I finally bought my first home. 10 years of penny pinching. Late nights at work. Saying no to vacations and dinners out, all so I could save enough to have a place to call my own. When I signed those papers, I remember standing in the empty living room, sunlight cutting across the wooden floor, and thinking, This is mine. Every inch of it. I made it happen. I was proud. Hopeful. Free. Or so I thought. Because I was single, I had to compromise. I bought a house on a shared block, cheaper, but it came with risks. Usually, shared blocks mean a strata title, basically a bunch of rules about what you can and can't do. But I found one that was different, a freehold title. No meddling neighbors. No constant board meetings. No one telling me what color my door could be. The ad said freehold. The real estate agent assured me, again and again, yup, it's all yours. No straight-a nonsense here. I thought I'd struck gold. 5 months later, there was a knock at my door. It was my next-door neighbor, a friendly enough guy, there to discuss the insurance policy for the shared walkway. Sure, I said. Send me a copy for my records. When the email arrived, I opened it expecting something routine. Instead, my heart dropped. It was for straight-a insurance. I stared at the screen, blinking. No, that can't be right, I whispered. Dozens of calls later, the ugly truth came out. My so-called freehold house was actually a straight-a title property. I'd been lied to. I felt sick. Not just because of the paperwork headache, but because I had trusted that agent. I gathered everything, the original ad, screenshots of the listing, even the emails between him and my lawyer that clearly said freehold. I walked into his office, hands shaking but voice steady. You lied to me. This was supposed to be freehold. I have proof right here. He didn't even flinch. He just leaned back in his chair and smirked. I'm not responsible for that. You should have checked more carefully. I wanted to scream, but all I could manage was, you sold me a dream that doesn't exist. We ended up in mediation. I didn't even ask for money. I asked for one simple thing. When I decide to sell this place, you cover the costs or sell it for free. He refused. Instead, he tossed out a pathetic offer. Here's $1,000. Walk away. $1,000 for the years of stress he'd caused? I refused. Legally, I could have taken him to court, the mediator even encouraged it, but my health was failing at the time. I didn't have the strength for a legal battle. That's when the anger began to settle. Not the kind that explodes. The kind that waits. I remember lying awake one night, staring at the ceiling and thinking, if the system won't make him pay, I will. In my own way. I wasn't going to throw punches. I wasn't going to vandalize his office. I was going to let time do the work for me. It started with curiosity. I found his personal Facebook profile, it wasn't private. There were photos from a recent boys on tour vacation. He looked carefree, like a man who believed he was untouchable. I also dug up his home address, a simple business registration search gave me everything I needed. And then, the idea came. It was dark. It was elegant. It was perfect. On the anniversary of the house sale, I sent flowers to his home. With them, a simple handwritten card. Dear agent's name. Remembering you, on this, our special day. She has your eyes. Love, L. I smiled as I sealed the envelope. The goal wasn't to hurt him physically. The goal was to plant a seed of doubt, one that would slowly grow into something poisonous. Every year, on the exact same date, I sent another bouquet. The message changed slightly each time, but always included. On this, our special day. Sometimes the note hinted at a secret love child. Sometimes it hinted at a desire to reconnect. And once in a while, I sent postcards, from the same country he'd visited on that boy's trip. Always signed. Love, L. I never saw his reaction. But I knew deep down that these little seeds were sprouting into suspicion, fear, and eventually chaos. A few weeks ago, I heard the news through mutual acquaintances. The agent's wife had left him. She'd finally pieced it together, the flowers, the dates, the mysterious cards. When she confronted him, he broke down and admitted to something he'd hidden for years. He had cheated on her. Apparently, a year before I even bought the house, he'd gone on vacation, had an affair, came home with an STD, and somehow convinced her it wasn't his fault. The flowers I sent every year? They landed right around the same time as his secret affair. She connected the dots. And his world collapsed. He lost his marriage. He lost his house. Half of his retirement savings, gone. And to top it off, he's no longer working as a real estate agent. When I heard all this, I felt conflicted. A small part of me felt guilty. But then I remembered that smug smile, the way he dismissed my pain like it was nothing. And I thought, no, this wasn't just me. This was karma. And karma, like me, is patient, spiteful, and vengeful. I didn't need lawyers. I didn't need to raise my voice. I just needed 6 years, and a few bouquets of flowers. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is the kind that whispers instead of shouts, the kind that lets people's own secrets pull them apart. This experience taught me that justice doesn't always come from the courts. Sometimes it comes from patience and a little creativity. In the end,